Okay, here's a side view of Megan Langenfeld. She won the MVP for the College World Series in 2010. She played for UCLA. She's a fantastic player, great hitter, and here's a waist-high pitch that she hit for a home run during the World Series. She's probably a pretty good person to model your swing after. And we're going to use her and her side view to compare your swings to. So let's just go through our checklist. First we want to see back knee to pitcher and then the belly button to pitcher. So she's fully rotated her body, and those are both a check. Is her front leg straight at impact? Yes, it is. Is her back elbow bent? Yes, it is. She's up on her back toes right there. She is palm up, palm down. It's a little blurry, but you can see she is not rolling her wrists over. She is palm up, palm down at impact. And another thing at impact is the elbow is above the hands and the hands are above the barrel. So you've got this downward tilt to the bat. The bat is not flat at impact. There's a downward tilt to it. So she's in a perfect position there as well. And the last thing is, are her eyes on the ball? And they most definitely are. Her eyes are looking right down at that ball. So here's a checklist of using Megan Langenfeld. All right, Divya, we're going to go through a checklist and compare your impact position against Megan Langenfeld. And you can't see the ball because there's a shadow from the pole, but the ball is right there at that red X right now. So is your back knee facing the pitcher? Yes, it is. Your belly button is facing the pitcher too, so those are both good. Is your front leg straight? Yeah, it's pretty straight, so that's good. Is your back elbow bent at impact? Yes, it is, right there. That looks good. Are you up on your back toes? When we rotate a little bit better, we're going to get your back foot more like that, like Megan Langenfeld's was. But we can work on that a little bit. Are you palm up, palm down at impact? And it looks like, yeah, that's really good right there. Your wrists are not turning over, and you're palm up, palm down going into impact. So that looks good. And there's your elbow, there's your hands, and there's your bat barrel. So your elbow is above your hands above bat barrel. That looks good. And are your eyes on the ball? This, I don't know, kind of looks to me like you're looking out about here somewhere. So maybe work on tracking the ball all the way to the bat with your eyes. But overall, looks pretty good at your impact position. Okay, now we're going to use our elite softball player, Megan Langenfeld, and she's going to show us how to get our body connected and how to rotate properly. So first off, here's right after her stride. You can see she's up on her front toe. She's at toe touch. And now she's going to drop her heel to heel drop, and that's going to start the rotation. So what I'm going to do here is draw a line on that side of her head, on that side of her head, and a line right through her body right there. And you can see she doesn't lunge. She doesn't move towards the pitcher. Once she starts to rotate, she keeps everything still and just rotates her body right around that stationary axis right there. Let's watch that again. Head still, body still, everything rotates, okay? So that's a proper way to rotate. Let's take a look at, as she's rotating, Ike to Mikey, okay? So here she is, her front shoulder's touching her chin. There's Ike. She rotates all the way to Mikey right there as well, okay? Another thing I want you to look at her front shoulder. Her front shoulder does not stop rotating until she hits the ball. It rotate. It keeps rotating all the way till she hits the ball. Let's look at another thing. Look at how her hands are about shoulder height when she starts, or about as high as the highest strike. Now we want to keep the bat nice and close to our back shoulder. As you can see, she does a great job of doing that, keeping the bat close to her back shoulder as she rotates. And the last thing we're going to look at is right at impact, we know that her back elbow is bent, okay? Now, after impact, everything extends, and now we're going to call this the power V, and you can see that her power V is up, just like that. So now we're going to use all these checkpoints and see how you guys look as well. All right, Divya, here we're going to look at your connection and your rotation. So right when you start to rotate, which would probably be right about there, we're going to draw lines by your head and a line right through your body right there. So we want your head to be still, and you want to rotate along that stationary axis. And you do a pretty good job of that. You're not lunging at the ball. So that's good right there, okay? Next, We're going to look at Ikey Mikey's shoulders. Are you rotating your front shoulder all the way to contact? So right there, your chin's touching your front shoulder, Ikey. And now we're going to rotate. Let's see. And we finish at Mikey pretty well. So that looks good. And does your front shoulder rotate all the way to impact? So let's see. Right before impact. Yeah, you're doing a good job. You can see your front shoulder keeps rotating all the way to impact. So that looks good. Your back elbow, let's see your back elbow get connected and then rotate in sync with your body. So we want to get it connected and then everything rotate in sync. All right? Well, you can see there that your hands and your elbow are actually getting ahead of your hip a little bit. That's something to work on, okay? So it should get connected right there, and everything should rotate together. Pretty good, though. Pretty good, but it's just getting a little bit ahead of your back hip. Are you keeping your back bat close to your back shoulder? Well, watch this, okay? We want to, when you get down and get the heel plant, which is right there, you still want your hands high, and you still want the bat at this angle. If you go back and look at Megan Langenfeld, she's still there. And your hands are dropping. You can see them right there. Your hand. We want to work on that. We don't want your hands to drop. That's dropping your bat plane. And so right at heel plant, you want to be where my red lines are, not with your dropping bat. So that's something we need to work on. Let's see. Next. Let's see. Your back elbow bent at contact. Yeah, that looks really good there. Okay, now we're going to extend after contact. And your power V looks pretty good. It should not be pointing straight towards the ground. It should be pointed, let's say, at the pitcher or up a little bit, and that's not bad. And that's it. So overall, pretty good. Okay, now we're going to look at some of the keys to making good, solid contact with the ball and hitting hard line drives as opposed to infield pop-ups. And what that entails is getting the bat on the plane of the pitch. So we're going to look at a lot of different things here. First off, what I'm going to do is plot Megan Langenfeld's hand path, okay? And I drew a yellow line right even with her logo on her shirt, her UCLA logo, okay? So I'm just going to plot her front hand here with a red line, and we're going to see what that front hand does as she rotates around. Okay, so it stays there. There it goes. You can see that her hands never drop below the yellow line. And her hand path is kind of this shallow U. And the barrel of the bat is going to follow what your hand path does. So you can see that's her hand path right there. It never drops below that yellow line. And what that's going to differ and what you're going to see from some of the girls is a lot of them have a straight down hand path where the hands go straight down like this. And that's what we're going to fix, and then that's going to lead to more consistent contact. The next thing we're going to look at is the path of her front elbow. So right here she's going to begin to rotate. So I'm going to plot that same red line on her front elbow. The way she's able to keep her hands above that yellow line is her elbow rotates up on the same plane as the bat, okay? So the elbow rotates up. That's another important thing there. And the next thing is we're going to plot the barrel of the bat and the pitch, okay? So give me a second here to get this set up. Here comes the pitch, okay? So I'm going to plot the pitch with a green line. And there's the ball right there, and here's the ball right here. So the pitch is coming in right here. Right, like, right about there. Okay? Now I'm going to use a red line, and we're going to plot the barrel of her bat, okay? So right there, she's starting to get her barrel on the plane of the pitch. And her barrel is right there. Let's see, let's plot it again. Barrel's right there. Right there. So you can see, because of her hand path not dropping below the yellow line, the barrel of her bat is on plane of the pitch for a long time. That means if she's a little bit early or a little bit late, she can still make good contact with the ball because the barrel of the bat is on plane with the pitch. So now we're going to use these examples and see how you guys look. All right, Divya, now we're going to check your hand path and getting the bat on plane. So I'm going to use a red line here to plot your hand path, okay? So we want to keep our hands above the yellow line. So here we go. And you can see your hands are dropping, swinging down. Your hand path is down, dropping your hands, and you're getting below the yellow line. So we need to work on keeping that above the yellow line, and that's what we're doing with rotating the front elbow up. That's going to help with that, okay? So now let's see your front elbow and how that rotates, okay? Same red line. Again, we want to rotate our front elbow up on the same plane as the pitch. Rotates up a little bit, but we could definitely work on that. If you go back and look at Langenfeld's, hers really rotates up, and that's going to help keep your hands above the yellow line and get the bat on plane, okay? So front elbow rotates up, and now let me redraw the yellow line here. Now we're going to check the plane of the pitch versus the plane of the ball, okay? So we're going to plot the ball in green. Okay, so it's coming down like that. So the plane of the ball is about like that, okay? So now let's plot your bat plane compared to that and see where we're at, okay? So you can see because your hands drop below the yellow line, that's also going to affect how your bat head goes, right? And you can see right there is the only spot you could have hit the ball, which you did hit the ball, but if the ball was a little deeper right there, you would have missed it completely. So we need to work on that, and because it's coming up onto the plane, you just hit the top of the ball, and that's a weak grounder. You'll hit harder line drives if we can work on getting your bat staying on the plane of the ball, okay? So overall pretty good, but just a few things to work on.